This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi everyone. So today we are gonna to discuss about different types of performance testing and also client-side metrics. Okay, from tomorrow we will go ahead with the tool called LoadRunner. So we will first do installation and we'll start with the activities, performance testing activities like scripting. Okay, so till then we can discuss about the theory part. Okay. So those who already paid the fee, they are going to get the installation files via mail. If you are like unable to get those mails, you can let me know. I'll check with the Isha management. Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. So let's discuss about different types of performance testing. So can anyone let me know what do you mean by performance testing? Exactly, like what's the purpose of doing performance testing?
Testing the application
Okay.
to find the behavior at its peak load.
Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So performance testing is nothing but we are checking the application behavior whenever we are hitting with max and peak load. Exactly how the application is behaving. So anyhow we are doing a performance testing, but here itself we are having multiple types of testing, which means like in the same, like there will be no change in your scripting, but how exactly you are gonna to design the scenario considering like number of users and number of the duration, each and everything is gonna to count. And by seeing the scenario itself you can easily able to define, okay, this is a smoke test, and this is spike test, and this is stress, and this is endurance, something like that. Okay, so here we have multiple tests. One is smoke, load, endurance is also known as soak test. Okay, and we have spike test, stress test, we also have page level stress, and it is also known as particular page functionality test. Okay, and second we have capacity test, it is also known as volumetric LU, volumetric test. Okay, and failover testing, baseline testing, and benchmark. Okay, so no matter what which type of testing you are doing, the main objective is to identify the application behavior. Okay, but see, I'll share the detailed notes via mail. Okay, let's go with the one by one. So these are the main types of performance testing. So based on the client requirement, we are going to provide either this or that or this, or if needed we will be including load test and followed by endurance and load and also stress. So if the like a client is looking for the multiple test, then we can also go ahead with multiple or different types of performance testing in the same release. Okay, no matter what which type of testing you are performing, the very first basic test is smoke test. Okay, this is the very basic test. For each and every performance testing, definitely that should be done with smoke testing. Okay, so you can simply define this testing as, so we will perform this test to check application readiness. Okay, so here what we are exactly doing? Exactly, we are just checking everything is good in the application or not. Okay, so just to check everything is working properly and as expected or not. If the application is up, or if application is having like any like degradations or any deployments happening or whatever it might be. So before performing any other performance testing, we will be just checking whether that is properly working or not. Okay, the main motto is, I'll write like this. This is objective. Okay, objective is we are going to check whether the application is ready or not. Okay, and exactly how many minutes we are planning to do. So if it is a smoke test, we will plan for minimum of 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, you can say like 5 to 10 minutes. So if you are like facing any issues within the application, then you are not supposed to go ahead with main test. Exactly, you need to like dig the issues why you are getting 500 errors or 400 errors. Suppose you already done with your scripting, and the developer made a small change in one of the API call or one of the scenario, but we don't have any information regarding to that. Before entering to the main test, if you are running with this test in the sense, then whatever the script you created for that particular functionality, it's going to fail. Then you will be getting 100% errors. So then you can easily identify, okay, this is causing issue. Then you can like directly post to them like, this is blocking us in order to go ahead with performance testing. Okay, for the same reason, no matter which type of testing you are using, like you need to perform this 5 to 10 minutes. And user count is nothing but it might be user or load. Suppose, okay, Radha is our client. Okay, so she is asking us to go ahead with 100 users for IRCTC application. Okay, so if the client is willing to go ahead with 100 users, it doesn't mean you need to go ahead with 100 users in your smoke test. Okay, as you are just checking whether this is working or not, you will be going with minimal load, which means like 5, not more than 10. Okay, 5 V users. VU means nothing but virtual users. It denoted like this, 5 V users. Virtual users, user count, load, everything is same. Okay, that is about smoke testing. And moving to second, load test. So can anyone know what is load test?
Yes, that the application behavior.
Yeah, it's whatever the performance testing definition we used to call, the same thing is nothing but the load test. Okay, so it is nothing but testing the application behavior with its peak load. Okay, so this is the main objective. And when we come to duration, so whatever the duration we are providing here, that is as per the standard. Okay, market standard. Okay, so here it is 1 hour. But if a client is willing and asking to go ahead with minimum of 2 hours, yes, we can able to do the same load test for 2 hours. That's not going to be a like problem. That's not going to like erase all the standard values. Okay, it's purely depend on the client requirement, but the basic mode is 1 hour of duration. Okay, and load. When you talk about the load or user count, so it's completely depends on client defined. So if he is willing defined, if he is willing to go ahead with 100 users, yes, we will be adding all the 100 users in this test. If he is planning to go ahead with 500, yes, we should go ahead with 500. We are not supposed to either increase or decrease the load whenever you are performing load test. Okay, it's completely depends on client defined. Okay, it's based on the requirement. So whenever, and also in few cases, like in interviews, you may get this question. Whenever you are performing any run, when the client defined like which type of testing you are going to perform, either it might like they will, if they are asking you to go ahead with two options, load or stress, then we can simply say like if it is already defined, that comes under load. So many of the people used to confuse whether it is load or stress. Okay, if that is defined, that comes under load. If client is not defined, and if he is asking us to define, the performance testers to define, then by adding, I mean by going ahead with few calculations, and we will be defining that value. And if we are considering the defined value, that comes load. And if we are like focusing on breakdown, that is called stress. Okay, don't get confused. Okay, here see, here comes two scenarios. One, client might be aware of load. Okay, then what we will be doing, suppose this is user count, which is nothing but load, and this is time. Okay, okay, suppose this, I mean all the users are running into the, I mean entering into the application, and they are doing the action, and they are coming out of the application. When this can be done, when the client defines, anyhow this comes under load only. Okay, when the client is not aware of the load, he is not at all having any idea, in that cases what we will do, we will just compare the application. Okay, if it is IRCTC, then we need to compare any booking application, any ticket booking application, then we can take the stats. If not, then what we'll do, we'll simply go with first 25 users and then 50, and then if everything is fine, and if all the server side metrics and client side metrics is fine, then we will simply keep on increasing the load. Okay, if they are okay with 100, then that comes under load test. But in few situations, client asks us to go ahead and check exactly the breakdown point. It means he will just ask us to go ahead with these many users. Okay, suppose let's take this is 100. Okay, and we are running our application with 100. We checked all the metrics, everything is fine. Then we will be adding few more users into the application, and then we will be running again few more users, again adding few more users. If you are keep on increasing the load in this is first stage, second stage, third, fourth, it means for every 15 to 30 minutes you are keep on increasing. So here how many users you added, let's consider 25. So 100 plus 25, 125, and here comes 150, and here comes 200. So whenever like you are monitoring your application using any monitoring tool or from the perfmon, whenever you are seeing like CPU graph reached maximum 100%, okay, or whenever you are seeing your what is that, memory graph reached to 100% and it is not coming down. It is keep on like increasing and reached the 100% and stayed at that point. It is not coming to normal position. Then your application might not work. That is called breakdown point. Okay, even let's consider your mobile. Okay, suppose if your mobile is 128 GB memory. Okay, if you are like storing your device with multiple photos, videos, or movies, or whatever it might be. So, if it is completely, if your memory is completely occupied, is that going to work properly? Or you are going to see some sort of hang issues and it will stop responding at one particular point, right? Are you getting what I'm speaking?
Oh, yes, Amartya.
Okay, so at one particular point, when your memory is completely consumed, when it consumed like around 128 MB, definitely there will be no space in your device. So whenever you are trying to add something also, it's not going to act properly as expected. That is called breakdown. Okay, so breakdown will comes whenever we talk about stress testing. Okay, whenever it is defined, we can simply say like it is load. Whenever it is undefined, so when the client is not aware, what we'll do, we'll keep on increasing the load and we'll keep on hitting the server with more and more users, and then we are going to find, okay, this is the point where our systems can't be able to handle. So it's better to go ahead with 150 users instead of 200 users. Okay, that is stress. If it is defined, load. If it is undefined, we can call it as stress. Sorry. And third test, endurance. So the main objective of endurance is testing the application behavior with minimal or average load for longer durations to identify its stability and caps lock memory leaks. Okay, so the main objective of endurance is also known as soak test. The main purpose of doing this test is we will be simply, so here what's the duration, 1 hour, but here we are going ahead with longer duration. Okay, so if you are using your application IRCTC with that particular load for long hours, in the sense, definitely your memory will be consumed a lot. So if you are like working in that type of applications, how your application is behaving, is it maintaining its stability, and is it throwing any some sort of memory issues, that can be considered by using endurance test. Okay, here we are simply going ahead with duration. So standard is 8 hours. And load or user count. So if suppose our client defined the load as 100, okay, so if it is minimal load, in the sense, we will go with average load of 50, half of the load. Okay, but in like sorry, 1 second. But in few cases, okay, whenever you are dealing with endurance, most of the client will ask us to go with max load only. Okay, but actually the definition is either with minimum or average load. But as per the application standards in our today's life, so most of the clients are willing to go ahead with longer durations with the same load, whatever the load is defined. Okay, but as per the standard, we should go ahead with minimal or average load, which might be half of the defined or it might be less than half. So you can consider from 25 to 50 when you talk about the minimal load or when you talk about the average load. Okay, but as per the current situations and current standards, most of the client are willing to go ahead with maximum load. And when you talk about duration, so standard is 8 hours, but we can also perform the same endurance test with 4 to 6 hours as well. Okay, and in few cases it might be extended to days as well. So they will simply design the scenario and they will just trigger the run and will see for a week. Because suppose let's take, if this is the memory space of IRCTC application. Okay, if you are keep on continuously, like suppose 1 lakh load. Okay, 1 lakh is very like a common load for IRCTC. Okay, suppose let's take the common load, and if you are working on the same application for multiple hours, so you are like completely checking the PNR status and also you are registering and you are doing the login functionality and you are booking your tickets and you are canceling your tickets and you are booking your hotels over there, each and everything. So consider this is your DB and you are having 3 DBs and all this stuff are in the application server. Okay, so whatever the hit that is entering into the app, that is going to create some objects into the memory. So it will keep on. One second, I'll use another color. Okay, so if users are using the application, okay, let's take this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3. So like they are filling, they are doing all the actions, they are filling and doing all the actions, filling and doing all the actions, and when it got filled, again it is occupying the second space and then it is occupying the third space as well. Anyhow, whenever we are doing this, we will be having GCs in mid as well, which is going to delete unreferred objects. This is called garbage collector. Okay, we can come to this topic whenever like we enter into this situation. Okay, even our garbage collector is cleaning the objects in a proper way. If you are keep on loading, keep on loading, keep on loading the things into your memory, definitely that might get occupied, right? So everything got occupied, and now whenever the new user enters into the application, there is no space. If there is no space to create any new object, that is nothing but memory leak. Okay, if you're having a space and each and everything is going fine, then there will be no chances of memory issues. Okay, and whenever you are doing that for 1 hour and whenever you are doing that for 5 to 10 minutes or 3 hours, that is totally fine. But whenever you are going with longer durations, that's what the main objective. So whenever you are going with such longer durations, how your application is behaving, is it maintaining its stability? And one second, just give me a second, guys. sorry, one second. So here mainly we are identifying its stability, and also we are just checking whether we are seeing any issues in the memory, which is nothing but memory leak. Okay, that's the main objective, maintaining its stability and identifying memory leaks. Okay, and moving to next, which is spike. What do you mean by spike? Anyone? Anyone? What do you mean by spike?
Suddenly increase user load.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So what's the purpose of spike test means? So whenever there is, like, see, let's consider load and time. Okay. So we define this for 1 hour. Okay. And this is for 100 users. So all the users entered into the application and they are working on it. Whenever there is sudden spike from 100 to, let's take 150. Okay. Whenever there is sudden spike, consider this as, okay, let's consider 200 here. Okay, whenever there is a sudden spike in the mid of execution, okay, all the users entered into the application, okay, and they are performing all the actions in the application, but whenever you are trying to hit the server with this sudden spike, okay, this is nothing but abnormal situation. Okay, in this abnormal situation, how exactly your application is behaving? If there is sudden spike, then definitely that is abnormal, that is not at all normal. Actually we defined the load 100 and we added few more users just to check how your Amazon is working whenever there is sudden rise in user count. Okay, that is nothing but spike. So during this period we will be checking the application behavior in that abnormal situation. Okay, so we can define it as testing the application behavior whenever there is sudden increase in the load. Okay, and when we come to duration, this is also just like 1 hour. Okay, and what happened? Load. So actually it starts with 100 and in mid of test execution, sudden spike to, let's take 50 users. Okay, so here we can say testing the behavior whenever there is, testing the application behavior in abnormal situations. Okay, which abnormal situation is nothing but whenever there is sudden spike. Okay, sudden spike is nothing but sudden increase. That is spike test. And moving to stress. Stress, just now whenever we are discussing about the load, we discussed objective. So can I simply say like testing the app behavior to identify its breakdown point. Okay, so what's the purpose of stress test? Here we are performing the test in order to check exactly where we are getting the breakdown. Okay, if you are keep on increasing the load like this, at one point you will be seeing issues in your metrics. Either it might be response time. Okay, if your response time is 2 seconds till this moment, it might be like 1 hour. Okay, let's consider 45 minutes. Okay, till 45 minutes, see, this is 45 minutes. Okay, and after 45 minutes, whenever you are increasing the extra load, then there was a sudden spike in your response. So before that, from here to here, the response time was 2 seconds. So because of this stress, it moved to 4 seconds, or it moved to 5 seconds. Or whenever you are seeing your CPU that reached 100%, or whenever you are using the memory graph that reached 100% and it is not coming normal. Okay, when we talk about CPU and second, okay, let's consider this is CPU and this is memory graph. Okay, so 45 minutes, 45 minutes, till 45 minutes, yeah, as with increase in load, it will be like this, like it is less than 75% till here. Okay, and it is moving like that. Whenever you reached 45 minutes, let's consider the load upgraded to 200, from 100 to 200. This is 100, 125, 150, 175, and then 200. At 200, it moved to 100%. Your graph moved to 100% and it is staying constant. See, as you are using less load, it is like within 75, and even till here also it is less than 75. Even with this load till 175, it is maintaining its capacity and everything is within the limit as per the SLA, which is less than 75. But whenever you are going ahead with high load, increasing the load after 175, it reached to 100%. So this is the 100% line. It reached to 100%, which is purely a bottleneck performance issue. Okay, same thing happens here. This is CPU and this is your memory. Okay, memory consumption is like this, and like this. When after 45 minutes, whenever it reached 200 users, memory spiked and maintained 100 in its graph. Okay, so the point at which your application is not responding and it's completely collapsed, that is called breakdown point, where you are seeing like a sudden spike and where your CPU reached 100% and where your memory reached 100%, that is nothing but breakdown point. So by using this testing, we are going to identify till how many users our application is able to handle. Okay, but if our client wants to go ahead with more users, what is the very next step? Definitely he should increase the application resources. It means like it might be in terms of CPU and the memory utilizations. He should increase more number of hardware utilizations so that we can able to accommodate more and more. See, even if you consider your mobile also, like whenever if you want to fill with more and more either might be photos or videos or whatever it might be. If it is crossing beyond 256 GB and if it is having access called memory card, then what you will be doing? You'll be adding one more memory card into your device so that you'll be getting extra space for the new creations, right? Or you will be upgrading your mobile from 256 to next level 512 GB. Same way here also works. Okay, so that it is going to tell you if you want to, like if the client is looking for the upgradation, then definitely he need more resource utilization. And when we will be going for a stress test, the standard will be like 1+ hours. So I am simply writing like 2 hours. Load. How about load or user count? So first we will go with define load 100 and will increase load step by step for every 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, this is how we will be adding. And moving to 6th, page level stress. So for this we can simply consider IRCTC Tatkal time. So how our application will look? It looks, if you consider this as your server monitoring. Okay, so daytime it starts like if we start at like 9 and let's consider 12 a.m. Okay, so from 9 all the users will be up and all the things. Okay, and then if you consider 10 and 11, Tatkal time will come, so there will be sudden spike. Okay, so this figure can also be used for a sort of spike testing. Okay, so and then it will come to normal because the AC Tatkal time will will get depreciated, right? Then our sleeper class reservation will start. Again we will be seeing more load. Okay, so this is a different type of testing. So for the page level stress test, I'll consider another. Okay, so what will be the best example? Okay, let's take Amazon. Okay, Amazon. So let's consider they are going ahead with big billion sale, and that big billion sale is also only for 1 hour, where we will be having multiple opportunities to grab the deals. Okay, so we will be having different functionalities like registration, login, and add item to the cart. Okay, we will be adding item to the cart, and if needed we will be increasing the quantity as well, +1 +2 or whatever it might be. Then we will be doing payment. Okay, if it is planned for 1 hour and if you are having multiple deals in the application, most of the stress will be on payment page. Okay, it won't be on either registration or it might be on login functionality or adding something to the cart or quantity and all this stuff. So the main pressure will be focused on payment, because if you are having only 1 hour, from the very first second the payment page is gonna to load with multiple requests. Okay, so in that type of situations, most of the payments is going to be failed. Okay, even if you're following any Telegram channels, so they will be posting some sort of deals. Okay, but if there is a deal for 2 to 5 minutes, if you're trying to do the payment, then definitely your payment is going to fail, because during that period the payment functionality is going to face more stress. So that is called page level stress. So if you're having these many pages and if only one page is getting stressed a lot, that is called page level stress. Okay, so before implementing this type of deals into production, it means either Flipkart or Amazon or Myntra or Costco, whatever it might be, if they are implementing such deals for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, so prior to release that, they will be performing either functionality test or page level stress in performance testing. Okay, so here the main objective is testing the app behavior when we are seeing stress on particular page. Okay, it's only related to the particular page. Okay, and when you talk about duration, so it is also same like load test, 1 hour. And if you talk about load or user count or users, virtual users, it is defined load only. We are not going with any new surprises here. If it is defined, then we'll go with defined. As it is some sort of page level, if it is defined, we'll go with that. Mostly it will anyhow, it will keep on increase, right? Plus 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 plus. Okay, so that is the main objective of stress test, page level stressing. As it is mainly focusing on one functionality, which is called payment in our example, so that's the reason we can also call page level stress as functionality test. Okay, don't get confused. Manual testing, functional testing is different, and one type of performance testing which is called functionality test is different. Okay, and moving to test, another one, capacity or volumetric. Okay, so here we will be testing, control B. Yeah. Where is my cursor? Oh. Testing the app behavior of its, and by checking its response times by keeping different volumes of records in DB. Okay, and also as it said, it is talking about the capacity. We will be working on future growth and expectations on its application load. Okay, expectations. Okay, so here suppose let's take, we are having these many dates. Okay, so what they are planning to do, so earlier it was with Oracle. Okay, now they are planning to switch to new DB. Suppose if Domino's is handling one of the DB from last few years, and now they just want to go ahead with updation in their DB. So then what is the main thing? So they will push all the DB records to another DB. Okay, so there sometimes it also be called as some sort of snowflake testing as well. Okay, that is some sort of different, where the DB gets changed and all this stuff. So whenever there are, like, suppose 1 million of records we have in our system, in our existing DB. So those 1 million of records are splitted to different volumes of DB records. So whatever they are having, they will be splitting into multiple volumes, and then they are going to check it. And also they will be adding few more DBs as per the future expectation. Suppose let's take whenever we are using Swiggy for the first time. Let's consider Swiggy released only by the end of 2024. So whenever one product got released into production, very few people will be using that application. Like by the mouth publicity or with some sort of advertisements, like the application expectations is going to increase. Not expectations, usage is going to increase. Okay, if they are only simply keeping 1 dB in the sense, definitely that won't be sufficient. For the same reason, whenever like a client is planning to do any application, definitely they should go ahead with some sort of future expectations. So based on that, they will be adding few more DBs into our system. Okay, even for the Amazon also, whenever it got released into production for the first time, it might be having only 2. Okay, forget about the capacity, but based on the future expectations, it will keep on increasing. So they will be increasing more DBs. Okay, while transferring the data, we can simply say like how exactly our application is behaving and how the response times are varying by keeping these records into different volumes, by splitting these things into multiple records or multiple volumes as per the future growth. Okay, that is capacity. So here also same, the duration and the load will be same. And moving to failover. So we already discussed about this failover yesterday and day before yesterday as well. Okay, so the main objective is testing the app behavior when suddenly one of the server fails in the mid of execution. Okay, suppose let's take, we are having 3 servers. Server 1, server 2 and server 3. So suppose it is handling 5k, it is handling 5k users, and it is handling, this server is handling 5k users. Okay, if overall, if we consider 15k users, if we are considering 15k users, so what we are doing in this test is, if any of the server fails in the mid of execution, so suppose Amazon Big Billion Sale is going on and they are having 3 servers. Okay, let's consider like 5k is the capability. And in the mid of execution or in the mid of Big Billion Sale, if one of the server got failed, so it doesn't mean like all the users who logged into, who reached this server called S2, suppose this is server 1, S1, this is S2 and this is S3. Who reached S2 is not going to utilize the deals. Okay, so whenever there is such failure in the mid, the first server and second server should share equally. So it is going to add handle extra 2.5. It is going to add extra 2.5. Okay. So like don't get confused, like how exactly we are going to know when it is going to fail. Okay. So the main purpose of failover test is how we will be planning is like we intentionally fail one of the server while doing the execution. We are going to close one of the server in the mid of execution. Then in that particular situation, we will be checking S1 and S3 behavior. How exactly they are performing. Whether they are sharing the load equally or whether they are feeling very hard to handle the load or whether it's unable to handle or share the load whatever that got shared from S2. So here we are doing the things intentionally. We will be failing by closing one of the server in the mid of our test execution. That is called fail over. So we intentionally fail it and we will be checking accordingly. Okay. And the duration and the user load, there will be no change. Everything will be same. Okay. And sorry, control B. Control B. Okay, moving to next. Baseline. So the objective of baseline is also same, like testing the application whenever we are hitting with peak load. Okay, I'll just copy and paste it here. Then you might get confused. What the difference between the baseline and what's the difference between load test? Okay, so baseline is nothing but like a normal load test, but whatever the one second, I'll write it over here. Control B. So when you call it control B, whenever we are doing perf testing for the first time to that application, what all the values we are getting from that test is considered as baseline values. Okay, whenever you are performing the test for the very first time and it is not into the production and your like development is just done and now you just did one round of performance testing for that, even the client is also not aware of that SLA, then whatever the values you are seeing over there in your run, that is called baseline values. Okay, simple. Whenever you are doing that for the first time, okay, performance testing for the first time, that is called baseline testing. So same here, like if they are going to define like 100 or 500, we will be using the same load. And like the objective is also testing the application behavior with its peak load and the duration is 1 hour. But whatever the values you are getting over there, that is called baseline values. Okay, that is baseline test. And moving to benchmark. Benchmark is nothing but standard values. Okay, it is nothing but test when we want to go ahead with industry standard values. So here also the objective, duration and everything is same, but whatever the values you are seeing over there comes as when we want to test the app against the market standard values. That is called benchmark testing. Control B. Okay, So these are the different types of performance testing we have. Okay. So for the very first time, just to check everything, the environment and the application is ready or not, that is called smoke test. Okay. And if we want to check the application behavior with its max load, then that is called load test. Okay. If you want to identify the memory leak and to identify the stability, then definitely you will be using either minimal load or maximum load for longer duration. That's why it is called endurance, means longer duration. The main objective is to identify the memory leaks. Spike. Spike means nothing but whenever there is sudden increase, that is spike. Okay. Stress. If you are keep on stressing on something, what happens? No matter what we are dealing with anything, it is going to burst out. In the same way, like if you are keep on increasing the load into your application, definitely you are going to identify at a point where your application is not going to respond. That is called breakdown point. Okay. That comes under stress test. And if there is any big billion sale, then definitely there might be a chances of getting the issues with the payment whenever the deals are going on. In such situations, definitely we need to apply stress on only one particular page. Okay. So as we are concentrating only on one functionality, it is called functionality test. And as we are applying stress on only one particular page, that is called page level stress. Okay. If you are playing with DB records, that is called capacity and volumetric. If you are intentionally failing the server in the middle, then it is called failover. If you are running the test for the very first time and you don't have idea about any values or any metrics over there, then it is called baseline. Okay. And if you are testing the application against the market standard values, if you are checking in parallel with the market standard values, then it is called benchmark testing. So no matter which type of testing you are doing, definitely that should be done with smoke test to check its application and its environment readiness. Okay. So these are the different types of testings we have. Any questions, guys? Bhaskar, Nagashri, Vasant. Any questions on different types of performance testing? Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead with client-side metrics later. So just have a look at these. Okay, so we'll just go with 5 to 10 questions here. Okay. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and let me know the answers. What is load testing? A, B, C, or D? Peak load,
A.
average load, half, minimal. Sorry?
Peak load.
Yes. So when you talk about the load testing, it is with peak load. Okay, moving to next question. Page level testing. Testing with full stress, testing for longer duration.
B.
Yes. Yeah, here we are testing the single functionality by applying stress. Okay. Yeah, moving to next. What is the objective of stress testing?
It's B.
Yes. Yes. So here we are identifying the breakdown point. Exactly during at what point you are going to see the sudden surprises in the application where there will be no response. And smoke testing. Testing app with peak load for long hours to find the breakdown or to check everything good for the main run. Sorry?
Testing to check is everything good for the main run?
Yes. This is the one. So we will be just using this type of testing to check everything is ready to go ahead with main run or not. Okay. And objective of endurance.
C.
Yes. In endurance, we will be identifying the memory leakage. And we will be identifying the system stability as well. Okay. Scalability.
Future expectation.
Exactly. So how much scalable is going to accept for our applications. As per the future expectations, we will be performing the scalability testing. Good. And next, this is over, right? 17th one. Benchmark testing. As per the industry
Industry
standard.
standard. Yeah.
Yes. So here testing as per industry standards. Okay. And okay, these questions related to the next topic. Okay. So I hope you guys are good with the different types of performance testing, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're good, Amulya.
Okay, fine. Thank you. And from like before starting the LoadRunner installation, I'll just go ahead with the client side metrics and server side metrics, and then we'll start with the installation. If you guys already paid, just ping in the group and ask for installation files. They will be sharing those files to your mail IDs. Okay, I'll show how to install the LoadRunner into our machine as well in the next class. Okay.
So we will be installing them in our local machines, in our PCs.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, we will be doing installation and we will be playing around LoadRunner with each and every point over there. Okay.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. If no questions,
Just
will
one
drop
question,
off.
if you mind.
Yes.
One question.
Vasant. Yeah. No
Yeah,
worries.
so
Go ahead.
yes, so in lot of actual uh, performance testing that we do, where the
Mm-hmm.
testing is little complex, and the test data is also little complex to derive. Okay, so is it the responsibility
Mm-hmm.
of the NFT team to to get the test data, or is it application team's responsibility?
Actually, like in most of the cases, we will be getting the test data from our QS. Okay, but in few of the product based companies, what they'll ask us to do, like as the QA is lower environment, so anyhow from the SIT team, they will be only checking the functionality with 5 or 10 test data, that's it. But
Correct.
whereas NFT, we should check with more and more data. Okay,
Right.
if you are into that situation, definitely like it's our responsibility to create the test data. So for the same reason, instead of doing the manual work, what we will do is like we will just create one simple script. Okay. So whatever you are like, suppose if you want to register into one application, so what we will be doing, we will navigate to that application. I'll show you that. Okay. One second. Suppose let's consider you are working into this application, Chrome. Mm, PT vectors. Okay. So, and here you need to go ahead with like 100 user IDs. Okay. But
Yeah.
from SIT team, you you didn't receive anything. And your manager is asked us, this is our responsibility and we need to work on that. Then, whatever the steps we are doing here, see, there is welcome to this. If you haven't registered, sign up now. Okay. So, I'll just go ahead and sign up now, and I'll simply provide these details. Vasant, right? Vasant, password 1234 1234, and first name Vasant, last name performance testing PT, and let's go with the basic. Okay, and click on continue. And thank you, Vasant. This got created, right? Whatever the step you just did so far, you will be recording the same flow using your LoadRunner or whatever the tool you are using.
Okay.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
it's gonna to do, it's gonna to capture all the things whatever we are having here, so
Okay.
that whatever the modifications we want to do, instead of Vasant, I need to go ahead with all the remaining users, test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5 till test 100.
Mm.
Okay, we will
Yeah.
be recording the script, and we should, like, we will be able to automate the script as per our required test data. That's not a big deal. With a simple processor we can able to do that. Okay, we
Yes.
will
Yes.
also include this into our scripting. Okay, you no need to worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Sure.
yeah,
Sure. Thanks.
yeah. Any more questions, guys?
Amulya, you said on the LRE thing there are some sessions or videos, something like that. You said.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes. Yeah, they will be providing that as well.
okay. So that comes later in
Okay.
the session, is
Yes,
it?
yes, it's yes, yes, yes. We are not yet
Oh,
entered into the very first component. So far, we did like NFR. We discussed about NFR and test plan. Now we are into different types. Okay, so we are not yet installed our loader, right? Once after completion of our entire scripting, then we
yeah.
will be pushing all our scripts to the next part, which is nothing but controller.
Right.
Okay, LRE is nothing but sort of enterprise version. That's it.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Fine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. Any questions, Nagashri or Bhaskar?
No, Amulya, I'm good.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you. From your side, Bhaskar, is that all fine? I think he's on mute. Okay, guys, that's fine. Okay, we'll continue in the next session. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you,
Have a
Amulya.
nice day. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.